All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Lal, and we're going to begin with our misdemeanor state all-purpose calendar. This is the list of misdemeanor cases with the State Court of Fulton County. For the individuals who have charges brought against them, I'd like to remind you that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Ms. Kim, good morning, and I'm not sure, Mr. Haddad. Okay, great, thank you. Anybody else joining us from the PD's office? I see Tom White also is listed.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Oh, there he is. All right. And ACDC, are we ready to address the first case?
Yes, Your Honor. This is Sandra Jones, Attorney Kim's client.
Yes.
All right. Sandra Jones.
Your Honor, good morning. Pardon the interruption. This is Lucia, the interpreter, the Spanish interpreter. Would you be needing me today?
Let me see.
I know it was a reset case that has been reset 3 times.
Mr. White, do you have?
Yeah, position 16 and 17. Not sure if the jail has him, but I did request an interpreter.
In courtroom 2, Deputy, do you have a Rolando Lopez?
He will be brought to the jail court iPhone.
Courtroom 2, can you hear us?
He will be brought to jail court's iPhone.
Oh, he'll be brought to jail court iPhone. Miss Lucia, we don't have Lopez at the present time, but he might chime in during the course of the morning. So I cannot give you a specific time. Do you need to be in another proceeding right now?
Not at this moment, Your Honor. I can hold. I will let you know. Should I just send a chat message to let you know if I need to be somewhere else?
Yes, that's fine. Or just chime in and say I'm being called, and then we'll accommodate as we move along. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Miss Kim, what position is your client?
I believe that is add-on calendar number 4, position 4. At the add-on calendar.
Okay, got it.
Announcement is negotiated plea, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Kim. Good morning, Ms. Jones. My name is Judge Lal, and we're going to address your case right now. This is case 24 CR 6829C, in which you are accused of criminal trespass from October 3rd. Please remember your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Kim. May I place you under oath for purposes of the plea? Ms. Jones, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead. Who's our prosecutor? Ms. Mokeke?
I can be.
Okay.
They negotiated plea for position 4 on the add-on.
Yes.
Okay. The recommendation was 12 months, served 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated, 20 hours of community service, and to stay away from the Little Bear Food Mart located at 1660 Jonesboro Road in Atlanta. I would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification.
Yes. Would you stipulate so? Thank you.
Ms. Jones, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No,
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
not really.
You don't understand what's going on in your case?
Going on?
You were arrested for allegedly trespassing at the
Yes,
Little
yes,
Bear
yes.
Food Mart. Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand? All right. Have you understood your conversations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Jones, if you decide to plead guilty to this trespass charge, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not get the opportunity to go back to court, to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the prosecutor prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of criminal trespass?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. Your jail time is over, but you'll have to report to probation because you'll need to do 20 hours of community service. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The probation office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. And you report there on Monday, which is going to be October 21st. And you report there before 3 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Once you're done with your community service, your probation will be non-reporting. So you'll need to get started on that right away, so you don't have to pay probation fees every month.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, and stay away from, stay away from the Little Bear Food Mart. Do not go back there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Almost morning. Do you have, yes, sir, what's your name? You need to stand up and speak louder. And do you have a misdemeanor case with us? Correct. Do we have your correct mailing address? All right, we will send you notice for your next court date. All right, good luck and comply with your bond conditions, okay? Yeah, you're free to go.
Officer, right here said he
Oh,
got a case there.
Dwight Spencer Dwight.
Spencer DeWhite.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm addressing folks who are actually in the courtroom, so give me a moment. DeWhite.
Yeah, he had family violence. I charged him with family violence and I was just coming
Oh,
as the deputy that charged him.
Miss Mokeke, had you all summoned the officer in Spencer DeWhite?
I have a Spencer Wright, W-R-I.
Right.
Right. Okay, like the Wright brothers.
Yes, Spencer Wright,
Okay.
yeah.
What position would he be?
I believe it is position,
43. And
Good
officer,
morning,
what's your name,
Judge.
please?
Deputy Ahmad Johnson.
Ahmad Johnson. Okay, thank you. Miss Tucker and Miss Mokeke, I have Deputy Ahmad Johnson in the case on position 43, Spencer Wright. Who represents Mr. Wright?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Mokeke and Miss Tucker, did you require the services of Officer Ahmad?
No, not for today. What's the PD announcement on this case?
Negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Okay.
A negotiated plea, okay. Officer, the defendant is in custody and he's represented by counsel. And it appears that he will be accepting the state's recommendation and entering a guilty plea. Did you want to stay for that?
I'll be okay. Yeah, I'll stay for that. 'Cause
Okay, I don't know at what time in the morning I'll be addressing him because I don't know where he is in the jail facility.
Okay,
And this calendar goes on to about 12 o'clock.
okay,
So you're more than welcome to stay or you're more than welcome to leave.
okay. You don't need me though, do you?
Ms. Tucker and Ms. Mokeke?
No, Judge, he can go.
There we
Okay,
go.
I was just wanted to represent.
Understood. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, courtroom 2, who's next, please?
We can go to the Arabic interpreter. That is position number,
Mr. Lopez?
no, position number 29, Mr. Solomon.
Ms. Tucker, did you see my email on?
Yes, and I'm fine with that. I'll make it a time serve.
All right, thank you.
Solomon.
Mr. Haddad, what kind of interpreter do you request? Was it a Persian?
Arabic, Judge.
Arabic? Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor. Let
Good
me
morning.
introduce myself. My name is Abdallah Hajjaj. I should be acting as an Arabic interpreter for Mr. Faisal Sulaiman.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome, Your Honor.
Mr. Abdullah, just for purposes of the case, if I may place you under oath, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you translate will be a true and accurate translation with no changes and embellishments?
I do, so God help me.
Thank you.
welcome.
So we are addressing Mr. State versus Faisal Sulaiman, accused of loitering and prowling.
سيدي اليوم في هذه جلسة الاجتماع نحن سوف نتناول قضية الدولة ضد السيد سليمان، ضد السيد سليمان فيصل، وهي قضية التسكع والتجول والطواف.
His case number is 24 CR 6837F.
ورقم هذه القضية هو كالتالي: 24 CR 6837F.
The incident date is October 3rd, 2024.
والتاريخ هذه الحادثة هو الثالث في أكتوبر في سنة 2024.
Mr. Sulaiman, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you choose to say during this proceeding can and will be used against you.
سيدي فيصل، لازم لك أنت ملتزم على الامتثال على الصمت، لأن أي مسألة وأي حاجة أنت حتقولها اليوم ممكن تكون معتبرة ضدك. ماشي؟
ماشي.
You have
Okay.
a right.
Okay,
You have
Your
a
Honor.
right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Currently, Mr. Jawan Haddad represents you.
وسيدي عندك الحق لكي تأخذ محامي دفاع لك، وإذا كنت مش عندك مصاري، مش قادر تدفع مصاري المحامي، ممكن المحكمة أن تعين لك محامي دفاع بالمجان، والمحامي الدفاع الآن هو السيد حداد.
Mr. Haddad, are you prepared to move forward with the plea, or do you need to speak with your client with the interpreter in a breakout?
سيدي حداد، هل أنت مستعد لكي تعمل تنفذ التقرير، ولا عاوز وقت لكي تتكلم مع زبونك مع حضور المترجم؟
Judge, we are ready for a negotiated plea.
نحن الآن مستعدين لكي نقرر، وحيكون القرار بالتفاوض.
Mr. Sulaiman, for purposes of the plea, please raise your right hand for the oath.
سيدي سليمان، لهذا القرار للتفاوض، أنا أطلب منك أن ترفع يدك اليمنى للقسم، لتأدية القسم. تفضل، ارفع يدك اليمنى.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
سيدي سليمان، هل أنت تقسم أنك ستقول الحقيقة والحقيقة بس؟ Yes, Your Honor.
You may lower your hand.
وممكن تنزل يدك. نزل يدك سيدي سليمان.
The prosecutor, Ms. Heather Tucker, will now state the recommendation from the prosecution point of view.
وهو الدولة هو حياخذوا قرارك وحياخذوا رأيك.
It's going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended, and to stay away from Kings Ridge School at 2765 Bethany Bend.
هو كان تم القرار، هو لازم تستدعي 12 شهر، وأنت قضيت 30 يوم، وفيه هو حيعطوك 15 اليوم، ولازم أنت تبتعد كثيرا على على السكول، وهذه هي المدرسة اسمها what was the name of the school, ma'am?
Kings Ridge.
كينجز ريدج. هذه المدرسة لازم تبتعد عنها، وهي العنوان كالتالي: 2765 باتني.
Mr. Haddad, does you and your client stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
هل أنت سيدي حداد، هل أنتم مستعدين للتعبير على كل الأحداث التي وقعت في هذه الحادثة؟
We do.
نعم، نحن مستعدين.
Thank you.
You may
Mr.
proceed, Your
Sulaiman, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
سيدي سليمان، هل أنت تناولت أخيرا المخدرات ولا أي مشروب محظور؟
لا.
No.
Do you understand what you are charged with and what is going on in your case?
هل أنت فعلا فاهم إيه المسائل التي هي ضدك وكل التهم التي تم تناولها ضدك؟ Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
هل أنت راضي مع دفاعك ومع محاميك؟ راضي على العمل بتاعه؟ نعم. Yes, Your Honor.
Have you and your attorney gone over a document called a waiver of rights with respect to taking this plea?
سيدي سليمان، هل أنت تناولت وراجعت مع محامك بتاع الدفاع كل الحقوق الدستورية التي سوف يتم تنازل عنها قبل الإعلان على القرار؟
نعم.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you enter a guilty plea, you will not get an opportunity for a trial?
هل أنت تفهم بأن إذا قررت تقرير بالذنب بأن ما حتكونش عندك أي فرصة لكي تذهب للمحاكمة؟
You will not go back to court to confront your accusers and challenge the evidence brought before you.
وما حيكونش أي فرصة لك لكي تواجه الإنسان الذي عمل هذه القضية.
You will not be able to present your defenses, and the state would not need to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
وما حتكونش عندك أي فرصة لكي تعطي كل الدلائل، وما حتكونش أي فرصة للدولة لكي تبررك تحت أي غرض معقول وأي سبب معقول.
Are you prepared to give up these rights?
هل أنت مستعد سيدي للتنازل على هذه الحقوق الدستورية؟ Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to one count of loitering and prowling at the Kings Ridge School?
ما هو قرارك سيدي سليمان على هذا الاتهام اللي هو ضدك؟ والتهمة هي كالتالي: التسكع والتجول والطواف أمام المدرسة. الاسم بتاع المدرسة هو Kings Ridge School. إيه قرارك سيدي سليمان؟ هل هو أنت تقر بالذنب مذنب ولا غير مذنب؟
مذنب.
Guilty, Your Honor.
I accept your guilty plea. Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days.
أنا أقبل قرارك بالذنب، والعقوبة هي 12 شهر، وتم قضاء 30 يوم. What was the very last one after the 30 days, ma'am?
credit for time served 15 days.
وحيعطوك واحد الامتياز بتاع 15 يوم.
Your jail time is over as the balance is suspended.
هو اللي قضيته هذا المدة التي قضيتها في السجن هي بتتجاوز المدة العادية.
If you have no other cases holding you at the jail, you should be released within 24 hours.
إلى ما فيش أي تهمة أخرى وأي قضية ضدك حيز التنفيذ، هو ممكن نحرروك قبل 24 ساعة هتكون حر.
However, you are to stay 200 yards away from the Kings Ridge School.
ولكن لابد أن تكون على مسافة 200 يارد 200 متر على هذه المدرسة وهي King Ridge School.
If you return to that location, you will be arrested again.
إذا رجعت إلى هذا المكان حيقبضوا عليك، سوف يتم القبض عليك.
That concludes this hearing.
هذا ننتهي بهذه جلسة الاستماع، قد انتهت الآن.
Thank you, Judge.
شكرا.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah.
You're very welcome, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Haddad or Ms. Kim, do we need the services of an Arabic interpreter for any other cases? I guess not, Mr. Abdullah. So
Okay.
thank you very much. Have a good
You're
morning.
very welcome. You have a blessed day, you all.
Thank you.
مع السلامة. الله معك سليمان.
All right. Deputy Milton, who do we have?
We have position number 8, Miss Harris.
All right.
Yeah.
This is Adira Harris, case number 24CR 6846A. She is accused of battery, family violence, and cruelty in the third degree from a September 3rd, 2024 incident. Ms. Harris, you've been advised of your right to remain silent and counsel, and your attorney is presently.
It's me, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. McLeod. Yes, your
Your
attorney
Honor.
is Ms. Maureen McLeod. And Ms. McLeod, how are we proceeding with Ms. Harris's case?
Your Honor, I will be waiving arraignment on her behalf. The issue is she already has a signature bond. Apparently, there is an FTA hold on another case that she has in Superior Court. She is pretty distressed about all of this because apparently she had been instructed that she would be appearing before the Superior Court this morning in order to have the FTA lifted in that case. She does have other counselor, Mr. Mohammed, she tells me, in that case, and her understanding, so she was pretty distraught because her understanding this morning was that she would be going to Superior Court because she already has a signature bond in this case. So I was hoping we would be able to at least inquire so she could know when she will be appearing in Superior Court. Because
what's the Superior Court case number?
I don't have it offhand, Your Honor, because when I was speaking to her, I was actually still in my car and I just got where I could actually look to see what is.
Your Honor, this is Ms. Hardy from pretrial.
What's the case number, please?
24 SC 00580.
I think we're missing one more number. Is it 000580?
I'm sorry, yes, Your Honor, it's 3 zeros.
Okay. And so this case is already indicted?
And I believe she has a bond on that case as well also, but she tells me that her mail went astray and she missed court, and that's how this FTA came about. So she's just anxious to have that FTA quashed so she can get back home. She does have 2 really young children, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
This is Miss Harris is indicted with 1 count of aggravated assault, family violence from February 23rd, 2022. The case was placed in judicial hold on March 26, 2024. There was a motion to withdraw the bench warrant. There was another calendar on October 4th, 2024. Judge Adams issued a bench warrant under 24000710 FTA. And her next appearance before Judge Adams is October 21st, which is next Monday at 9:30 a.m. in courtroom 4E.
I believe that was a misunderstanding because she thought she was going to Judge Adams today. So she was pretty distraught about that. So I just wanted her to have the clarification, Your Honor. But she already has a signature bond on this chart, and it will be a not guilty plea, and I will file a formal waiver of arraignment on our behalf.
All right. Ms. Harris, on the state court case, this is a waiver of arraignment. Your attorney is entering a not guilty plea, and your case will be further noticed for trial. Please comply with the conditions of your bond and make sure that your address is correct with the court at all times in order not to miss any court dates. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court this morning. May I be excused?
Yes. Do you have any cases at 11 a.m. by any chance?
I do not believe so, Your Honor.
Okay.
But if I do, I will be available. I just have to appear before Judge Edie at this moment.
Oh, definitely. Well, I don't see any right now. So, but if we need you, we know where to find you. Let's put it that way.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. ACD courtroom 2, do we have any cases?
Yes. Position 8, Mr. McDaniel.
McDaniel, okay.
Daniel McDaniel.
Position number
18 through 20.
18, 19, 20.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, Deputy, your audio is just going a little in and out, so there we got it. Okay. Daniel Mack has got 3 matters on this calendar this morning. Mr. Mack, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Position 18, case number is 23CR932C, accused of simple battery from an incident date of June 30th, 2022. The second case is 24CR1958C, charged with willful obstruction of an officer and theft by receiving stolen property from a September 5th, 2022 incident. And the third case is 24CR6842C. This is from a July 9th, 2024 incident. The accusation includes 1 count of giving false information to an officer, operating a vehicle with an expired or no license plate or decal, and driving while license suspended or revoked. With regards to these 3 cases, Mr. Mack, this is going to be a plea. So Mr. Mack, if you please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Mokeke, what's the global offer for these 3 cases?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer for position 18 is 12 months to serve 30 days, have no further contact with Lena Harris, stay away from 5407 Old National Highway in Atlanta, 8 weeks of anger management, no firearms. The recommendation for position 19 for count 1 is 12 months probation, that you have 40 hours of community service and pay a $300 fine. For count 2, that is going to be 12 months to run concurrent with count 1 and to take an anti-theft course. For position 20, the recommendation for count 1 is 12 months probation to run concurrent with count 3. The recommendation for count 2 is 12 months to run concurrent with count 3, and that he pay a $135 fine. The recommendation for count 3 is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. That is from October 3rd to present, balance probated, and a $100 fine. Sorry,
All right.
a $1,000 fine. And all of
Okay.
these are to run concurrent.
All
And
right.
then
So there is an 8-week anger management requirement to stay away from the victim and a location. In the other case, there is a $300 fine, anti-theft class. And on position 3, there's an additional $135 fine and a $1,000 fine. And is his license current at the moment, Ms. Mokeke?
No.
All
No,
right.
Judge.
So I'm going to require also no driving unless he has a valid driver's license, proper registration, and adequate insurance. Mr. Haddad, are these the terms to which your client has agreed?
Yes, Judge, the only request, and I didn't know who the solicitor was, I apologize. My only request is to either suspend or reduce the fine on the driving license suspended in case number 24 CR 006842C. But other than that, Judge, it is a negotiated plea. I'm just trying to cut down on the amount of fine, Judge.
And the reason for the suspension?
Sorry, the suspension of the fine, Judge? It is.
Yes.
Honestly, it's because he's obviously indigent, Judge. He's in custody. He's going to have another couple weeks to serve. He also will have to pay for the anger management classes, Judge. Just trying to get him back on his feet, Judge.
All right. And Miss, my pre-trial was Miss Hardy or Miss Mokeke. Either of you want to chime in? Does he have any prior driving with license suspended on his record?
It looks like he has some out of South Carolina. He has a 2023 conviction driving under suspension out of South Carolina, and then a 2019 conviction for a DUI and driving under license not suspended for DUI. I'm not exactly sure what that means. But then he also has a 2018 driving under suspension from South Carolina. So he has at least 2. And then that 2019 license not suspended for DUI, I'm not exactly sure what that charge means.
Okay. Mr. Haddad, given his driving history, he doesn't qualify for a fine suspension. He would need to pay that fine in addition to making sure he surrenders any license he has to the appropriate Department of Driver Services. His license will continue to be suspended for up to 12 months from this sentence.
That's fine, Judge. Thank you.
Is that what your client is agreeing to?
Yes, Judge. He's ready to proceed with the plea.
Okay. And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for all 3 cases?
We stipulate for purpose of the plea for all 3 cases, Judge. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mack, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am. Judge, I'm not sure if you swore him in.
Oh, all right. Sorry, but I thought I did, but that's all right. Mr. Mack, please raise. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Mack, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am, not any.
Repeat.
No, ma'am, not any.
And have you understood what's going on in your cases?
I do, yes, ma'am.
And have you understood your conversations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's services?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
And has it been explained to you that if you enter this plea to these 3 cases, that not only will your license be suspended for an additional 12 months, but that you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial before a judge or a jury?
Yes, ma'am.
You would not get the opportunity to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that will be brought before you during the course of a trial. You will not be able to get the assistance of counsel to present your defenses and arguments. And the state will not have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up all these rights?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And you understand that you are not allowed to operate a motor vehicle unless you have a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration for the vehicle that you operate.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to simple battery in case 23 CR 932C?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months probation to serve 30 days. So you have 15 more days to serve at the jail before you're considered for release.
Hey, yeah, everything is going on. We said 15 months. We got 20. So, yeah, it is. I mean, everything's on the same time. Everything's same time. Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
So you have 15 more days to serve at the Fulton County Jail. Once you're released, you are to report to the Fulton County Probation on the first Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday following your release.
Yes,
The Fulton County Probation Office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. You're to report there before 3 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
While you're on probation for this case, you are to have no contact with Lena Harris and stay away from 5407 Old National Highway in Atlanta, Georgia. You're to also enroll in an 8-week anger management program within 60 days of being released. And so you must show proof to your probation officer that you've started your anger management classes within 60 days of being released. And at all times, you're not allowed to own any firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
With regards to position 19, 24 CR 1958C, how do you plead to willful obstruction of an officer and theft by receiving stolen property?
Guilty.
Repeat.
Guilty.
On the willful obstruction, your sentence is 12 months probation to complete 40 hours of community service and pay a $300 fine. The 40 hours of community service must begin with the first month completing at least a minimum of 5 hours and doing 5 hours every month, a minimum of 5 hours every month thereafter. For theft by receiving stolen property, it's a 12-month probation concurrent with count 1, and you're required to do an anti-theft class. Considering that you already have 8 weeks of anger management, I'll require you to do the anti-theft class within 120 days of being released.
Okay.
In position 20, you are accused of giving false information, expired or no license plate or decal, and driving while license suspended or revoked under case 24 CR 6842C. How do you plead to these charges?
Guilty.
On giving false information, it's going to be 12 months concurrent with count 3. On the expired or no license plate is 12 months probation concurrent with count 3 with an additional $135 fine. And on the driving while license suspended is 12 months to serve 30 days, which is your 15 days that you, is credit for time served 15 days. So I guess that jail time for that charge is over. Balance probated, and to pay a $1,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
So your total fine is $1,435. I will waive your probation fees until the end of January 31st, 2024. But after that, you'll need to start paying probation fees from February 1st, 2024 onwards. With regards to your total fine of $1,435, you'll be required to make a $100 payment. Would that be enough? No, let's make it $120 payment. You'll need to make a minimum payment of $120 every month towards your fine with probation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that concludes your sentence. Oh, no driving unless you have a valid driver's license, insurance and registration, and your license is going to be suspended for an additional 12 months starting from today. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Next, we can go to position number 40, Mr. Wolf. Actually, right here, Wolf.
Repeat that name again, please.
Stephen Wolf.
Wolf. Okay.
Yes, Judge, I have an announcement. MHC is going to be staffing this case this morning, actually, so we should have an announcement by the end of the day as to whether they accept this case.
All right. Mr. Stephen Wolf, you are accused of unlawful conduct during a 911 call and using telephone communications for obscene, threatening, or harassing purposes in case 24 CR 6843E. You've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Oh, Miss Kim, sorry. Miss Kim, I'm going to reset this case to next Tuesday. And if he's accepted to MHC, then the case will be removed from the calendar. Otherwise, you all will address it next Tuesday. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So
Thank
this
you.
case is reset to October 22nd, pending acceptance into the MHC court. Thank you.
Does he need to come back for the court? No, he's done for today. Okay. Good. More please. Are you Stephen or Stephen?
Next, we can go to position number 5, Mr. Johnny Felton.
What? Bullshit. Sit up right now. No.
Johnny Felton, is that correct?
Yes. He's
Okay.
coming.
Mr. White, if you can put your phone number.
He did.
Oh, he did, never mind.
All right, we are addressing State versus Johnny Felton, 24 CR 6827E. Mr. Felton is accused of criminal trespass stemming from a October 2nd, 2024 incident. Mr. Felton, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. White. This is going to be a negotiated plea. Is that correct, Mr. White?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Felton, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Mukeke, what's the recommendation?
The state's recommendation for Mr. Felton is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, the balance suspended, and that he stay away from the Texaco located at 1117 Lee Street Southwest. I would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification.
We stipulate, Your Honor, just ask that you accept the plea as negotiated and nothing further.
Mr. Felton, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No,
Yes or no is good, Mr. Felton.
no.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes,
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
yes,
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
yes,
So you understand that by entering this plea, you will be giving up your right to a trial, to be able to confront your accuser in a court of law, to be able to
Yeah.
challenge the evidence brought before you, and have the state not have to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
yeah,
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass?
guilty,
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. Balance suspended. Your jail time is completed. If you have no other holds, you'll be released within 24 hours. However, you cannot return to the Texaco gas station at 1117 Lee Street in Atlanta, Georgia. If you return to that location, if you go to its parking lot, the sidewalk, or even enter the store, you'll be back with us.
yes, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You gotta have a seat, Mrs. Beckman, if that room. Next, we go to position number 22, Mr. James Ross. Wrong way, Ross.
This is State versus James Ross Jr., accused of criminal trespass and fare evasion from October 4th of this year. Accusation 24 CR 6877E. Mr. Ross, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is going to be Mr. Haddad. Okay, sorry, 24. 22. Okay, got it. And may I place you under oath for purposes of the plea? Mr. Ross, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Mukasey?
The state's recommendation for Mr. Ross is 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 12 days, balance suspended, stay away from all MARTA locations. For count 2, that is 12 months to run concurrent with count 1. I think my math was off. I think it's supposed to be serve 24 days. No. Yeah, serve 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. It's a time served.
Okay. So it's 24 and 12. Okay. And Mr. Haddad, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We stipulate for purposes of the plea.
Right. And Ms. Mukasey, I'm sorry, I didn't let you finish. Is this a stay away from all MARTA property?
Yes, it is a stay away from all MARTA locations. He has a permanent ban.
All right. Permanent ban. Okay. Mr. Ross, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
Ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the attorney that you have?
Yes, ma'am.
And has it been explained to you that if you enter this plea, you would have to give up your right to a trial before a judge or a jury? You will not get the chance to go back to court, confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, present your defenses, and also have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of fair evasion?
Ma'am.
I can't hear you, sir. How do you plead?
Guilty.
On the criminal trespass, your sentence is 12 months to serve 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. Your jail time is concluded, the remainder of the sentence is suspended, and you have a permanent ban from all MARTA services and property. So you
Ma'am.
cannot be seen at any of the MARTA stations, their facilities like their bathrooms, their parking lots, their sidewalks. You cannot return to any of them. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
On fair evasion is going to be 12 months concurrent with count 1. That concludes your sentence. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Next, we will go to position number. Position number 15, Mr. Cedric Jones.
This is State versus Cedric Jones. Mr. Jones, your case number is 24 CR 5761C, in which you are accused of criminal trespass. You've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. White. Mr. White, do you still need to speak with him?
I have spoken with him, Judge. This is a negotiated plea.
All right, thank you. Mr. Jones, please raise your right hand for the purposes of the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Mukasey?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 38 days, credit for time served 19 days, balance suspended, stay away from MARTA located at 70 Hamilton E. Holmes Drive Northwest in Atlanta until April 24th, 2025.
Just that specific station?
That is what was in the previous SAP recommendation, but looking at the documents, it seems like he has an active suspension from MARTA period until 2025. So I would just say remain compliant with any active MARTA suspensions.
All right. Mr. White, are these the terms to which your client has agreed, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Yes and yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Jones, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
I am, Your Honor.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge of criminal trespass, you would have to give up your right to a trial and before a judge or a jury. You will not get a chance to go back to court with your attorney, to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, present any defenses or arguments you have, and have the state prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
I am, Your Honor.
Repeat.
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at Mara?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 38 days, credit for time served 19 days. Your jail time is concluded, the remainder is suspended. However, you're required to stay away from all Mara property until your suspension is over. And right now, your suspension is until April 25th, 2025. So you cannot use any Mara property and you cannot step onto any Mara station, including buses and trains, until next year, April 25th, 2025. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Could you tell me again who was your client?
Stephen Horn.
Judge, he's on pause.
All right. I just wanted the jail to know that you are here so they can have your client brought out.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Next case at courtroom 2. We still have our Spanish interpreter on Zoom if jail can. If the deputies can let jail court iPhone know that.
And Your Honor, I will need to speak with him with the interpreter in a breakout, so the sooner the better. That way we don't interrupt any other court proceedings. So.
Okay, thank you. Courtroom 2, I'll take whichever case is ready right now.
Position number 26, Mr. Gary Smith. This way, Smith, you walk that way.
Your Honor, Mr. Smith indicated he wishes to change his mind. We're gonna enter a plea of not guilty. We'll waive formal reading and I'll file the appropriate motions, Judge.
Right. This is State versus Gary Smith, case number 24 CR 6816C. Mr. Smith is accused of battery from October 2nd, 2024. Mr. Smith, you've been advised of your rights to remain silent. Your counsel is Mr. Haddad. And I understand that you are entering a not guilty plea to this particular misdemeanor offense. Upon your entry of a not guilty plea, your case will be further notice for a trial before a judge or a jury. At the time of the trial, the prosecutor would have the complete burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt and overcome your legal presumption of innocence. If the prosecutor does prevail, you could be convicted of this offense and face a penalty of up to a year in jail and or up to $1,000 fine. Given this information, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Your case is arraigned and is going to be further notice for trial.
Thank you, Judge.
That concludes Mr. Smith's case.
Yes, Judge.
Next, we can go to position number 32, Mr. Aaron Thomas. Yeah, you come have a seat.
Excuse me, we're Thomas, we're getting out today, okay? All right, no. Speak loudly so the judge can hear you. All right, no, let's see.
This is State versus Aaron Thomas, accused of criminal trespass from October 2nd of this year under case 24 CR 6840J. Mr. Thomas, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. May I place you under oath?
What talking about right now? Right hand right now? Gotta be right hand?
Your right hand, correct. Do you
All right.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I solemnly swear, no talking about.
Thank you. You may lower your hand.
All right now.
Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation for Mr. Thomas?
It's going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 5 days, balance probated, to complete 40 hours of community service, and to stay away from MARTA.
Was it 5 days or 15 days?
Oh, I'm sorry, 15 days.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Haddad, does your client accept these terms and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Yes, Judge, we stipulate and we ask the court to follow the negotiable plea.
Mr. Thomas, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
Oh, no, may not have no alcohol, you know?
And are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
May not satisfied, no.
Are you entering this guilty plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Really, you know?
Was that a yes?
Yes, right now.
Mr. Thomas, if you decide to plead guilty to criminal trespass, you will not get a chance to have a trial in your case. There will be no trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the prosecutor prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
I'm prepared to give up those rights, you know?
Okay, fine.
Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, I'm prepared to give up those rights.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass?
Me not plead guilty, no, you know?
I heard you say plead guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. If you have no other cases against you, you should be released within 24 hours.
I'll be released right now.
You'll be released within 24 hours.
All
Today is October 17th. Next week on Monday, October 21st, you must report to the Fulton County Probation Office at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While you are on probation, you must do 40 hours of voluntary community service with any nonprofit agency. And you will report to probation until your community service is over. Once you have completed all 40 hours, your probation will be non-reporting. And at all times, you are to stay away from all MARTA property in accordance with any active suspension you have against you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, no.
You can have a seat back
What I
in the
gotta
bench,
do,
sir.
I gotta be released.
Thomas,
All right, no. Thank you.
bench,
All right, no, what you say no?
third row,
Oh, that's third row. Sure.
third row.
No, that's third row.
Next, we will go to position number 37 and 38, Mr. Amber Rowe Williamson. No.
This is State versus Ambrose Williamson. Mr. Williamson has two cases before us. Position 38 is 24 CR 4366G, in which he's accused of criminal trespass and willful obstruction of an officer from July 2nd, 2024. The second case is another charge of criminal trespass from October 1st, 2024, under accusation 24 CR 6801G. Mr. Williamson, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. I understand that, Mr. Haddad, this is going to be, are you filing a waiver arraignment or would you like me to arraign the case?
No, Your Honor, position number 37 and 38 is going to be a plea, negotiated plea.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I had
It's been bonded.
37 and 38. Okay, I had bond hearing listed, but so he's taking the plea now?
Wait.
Brett Ambrose?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
no, Judge, I may have mistyped it. On Ambrose Williamson, the gentleman that's present right now, that's gonna be a negotiated plea, Judge. The bond hearing that I needed is on position number 33.
Okay,
And I apologize if I.
no, that's all right. I just wanted to clarify and confirm. Okay, Mr. Williamson, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm for purposes of this plea that the testimony you provide will be true and accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Lower your hand. Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation for Ambrose Williamson?
Yes, Judge. For the first count of criminal trespass, it'll be 12 months to serve 32 days. Credit for time served 16 days. Balance probated to complete 40 hours of community service and to stay away from the Chevron at 2656 Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. For the obstruction, it'll be a $300 fine. And for the criminal trespass in the second case, it's going to be 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance suspended, and to stay away from that same location.
Mr. Haddad, do you so stipulate, and does your client accept these terms?
We do, Judge. I would just ask the court to consider non-reporting once all the conditions are completed, of course, with the special condition of a stay away.
All right. Mr. Williamson, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yeah.
And are you entering this plea to these multiple charges freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to enter such a plea, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not get the chance to confront your accusers, challenge the evidence brought against you, have the assistance of counsel to present your defenses and arguments, and have the state prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you're required,
Yes, ma'am.
and you understand that you're required to stay away from the Chevron gas station at Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass? Well, I'm just going to say 2 counts of criminal trespass and willful obstruction of an officer.
Both of them guilty. We said negotiate. Yeah, the negotiation. Public figure negotiation. Yeah, like.
She's asking, are you pleading guilty
Yeah.
or not?
Are you pleading guilty to 2 counts of criminal trespass and 1 count of willful obstruction of an officer?
Yes, ma'am.
On count 1 of position 37 on the trespass, your sentence is 12 months. Are you done grooming your hair?
Oh, yes, ma'am. No, I was looking in the camera for the first time. My bad.
All right. I just need you to pay attention for the next 30 seconds. Your sentence for the criminal trespass is 12 months to serve 32 days. Credit for time served 16 days. The remainder of the time is going to be on probation, where you'll need to do 40 hours of community service and stay away from the Chevron at 2656 Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. On the obstruction charge, your sentence is going to be 12 months, concurrent to count 1, and to pay a $300 fine. On the criminal trespass from position 38, the sentence is 12 months to serve 32 days. Credit for time served 16 days, balance suspended, and stay away from the same Chevron gas station. With regards to the 40 hours of community service, you are required to do a minimum of 5 hours per month and minimum of 5 hours every month until the 40 hours are completed. With regards to the $300 fine, you'll be required to pay a minimum of $30 per month and $30 every month until your probation, until all conditions are paid off. If you've completely pay your $300 fine, you complete your 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency, then your probation, and if your probation fees are paid up, then your probation will be non-reporting. Otherwise, you will report to probation every month, and at all times, stay away from that chevron. Otherwise, you'll be arrested again. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, this is the Spanish interpreter again.
Yes, Ms. Lucia?
I am so sorry, but I do need to step away. I know you're in the calendar. Would it be okay to leave this to like the end of the calendar? I'm not sure how long.
Don't worry about it. When you come back, that's when we'll see where we are. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're free to leave, and then when you're done with the other case, please come back if you can. Thank you. All right. Courtroom 2, next case, please.
So as soon as I get back to the office, I'm gonna schedule with the court.
Please go to position number 33, Mr. Bradley Taylor.
Okay. All right. I didn't want to talk over someone, but let's begin with Mr. Bradley Traylor, position 33, case number 24 CR 6874H. Mr. Traylor is accused of simple assault and criminal trespass from October 3rd, 2024. Mr. Traylor, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Haddad. Mr. Haddad, on position 33, is that the one that you said is a bond hearing, or was that a plea?
That is the bond hearing, Judge.
Okay. So on position 33, Mr. Traylor presently has a bond of $1,000 surety from his first appearance of October 5th, 2024, with the requirement that he stay away and have no contact with Kayla Hagan. Also, he's required to stay away from the restaurant Louisiana Bistro, and as well as the Motel 6, all on Virginia Avenue. Yes. Mr. Haddad, will you be filing a waiver of arraignment, or shall I arraign the case as well?
Your Honor, we can wait. I'll file the waiver of arraignment. I just wanted to be heard on. Bond.
All right. Okay, Mr. Traylor, your attorney is entering a not guilty plea on your behalf, and your case is going to be further noticed for trial. Yes, sir. Please proceed, Mr. Haddad.
You'll be getting out today. Judge, I apologize on behalf of Mr. Traylor. Apparently he has changed his mind. We're gonna enter a guilty plea. I think the sentence recommendation is, well, the state can mention it, Judge, but we're requesting a change of plea, and he'll enter a negotiated plea on this case, Judge.
All right, Mr. Traylor, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation for Mr. Traylor, position 33?
Yes, Judge, it's going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance probated, to complete a 12-week anger management course, and to have no further contact with Kayla Hagan. And it will be the same on each charge, concurrent.
Mr. Haddad, these are the terms to which your client has accepted. He understands he's got one more day to serve at the Fulton County Jail.
Yes, Judge.
All right. And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do.
Mr. Traylor, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, you have to respond with a yes or a no.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes.
So you're not entering this plea just to get out of jail?
No, ma'am. I'm entering it knowingly and understanding what's going on.
All right. If you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not go back to court. You will not have a trial before a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge evidence that will be brought before you, present your own defenses and arguments with the assistance of counsel, and also to have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand there's no right to appeal once I impose a sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at the Motel 6 and the Louisiana Bistro on Virginia Avenue?
Guilty.
How do you plead to one count of simple assault with regards to Kayla Hagan?
Guilty.
On the criminal trespass, and your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 14 days. You have one more day to serve at the Fulton County Jail, and then you'll be released within 24 hours if you have no other cases holding you. In that case, you will have to report to probation on Tuesday, October 22nd before 3 p.m. And that would be at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While on probation, you will complete 12 anger management classes, and you must enroll in those classes within 60 days of being released. At all times, you have to stay away from the Louisiana Bistro and the Motel 6 on Virginia Avenue, and you are to have no contact with Kayla Hagan, which means staying 200 yards away from Miss Hagan and these locations, and do not communicate with Miss Hagan in any way, form, or manner. The simple assault charge will be 12 months concurrent with count 1.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Can I have a seat?
Mr. Haddad, do we have any other cases in courtroom 2?
No, Judge, that was the last one.
Okay. All right, jail court iPhone, who do we have, please?
We have a position, he's on an add-on calendar, position number 2, Mr. Horn.
Okay. On the add-on calendar, Mr. Horn. Okay, thank you. And Deputy, do you have a Rolando Lopez also?
I don't have him with me, he's across the hall, I gotta go grab him.
Okay, no problem. Our Spanish interpreter is not available right now. She had to step away. So I'm just letting you know, unfortunately, we won't be able to address that until the interpreter returns.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is position 3 on the add-on calendar. This is Stephen Horn, case number 24CR 6708A. Mr. Horn, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and I believe Mr. Adams represents you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, he was on the Zoom. He was under iPhone.
I think this is him logging back in.
All right. Mr. Adams, if you could please unmute.
Yes, y'all.
All right, sir. Your client is on Zoom. Can you see him? He's on the Zoom panel called Jail Court iPhone.
I don't see him yet, but hello.
If you're an iPhone, you may have to swipe the screen until you come to the panel that says Jail Court iPhone.
I see him, yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Horn, that's your attorney. And I've already advised you of your right to remain silent. He's charged with simple battery family violence from April 29th, 2024. How would your client like to proceed, sir?
if we could possibly talk to the solicitor for 1 minute.
All right. Ms. Tucker, have you conveyed the recommendation to defense counsel?
Yes, but just today.
All right. Did you need to speak with the prosecutor?
No, I just need to know the recommendation. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, I had posted it in the chat. It is going to be 12 months to serve. Any credit for time served, no further contact with Akita Nance, and to stay away from 385 Yonkers Ave, Apartment A in Atlanta.
Okay, we'll,
and if you just give me a moment, Mr. Adams, just give me a moment. I'll tell you how much credit he would be given. So right now, if it's 12 months to serve with regards to the simple battery charge, this was from April 29, 2024. He'll be given credit for 24 days. So it's 12 months to serve. He'll be given credit for 24 days, and he's got the remainder of that.
okay, I believe we'll waive arraignment, plead not guilty.
All right. So if you go ahead and email or send sorry, let me get to the screen. All right. As I was saying, if you will email the written waiver of arraignment to Miss April Champion, that's april.champion@fultoncountyga.gov, G-O-V.
I would do that. And the case number is,
I'm sorry?
okay, I got it. Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Horn, your attorney is entering a not guilty plea on your behalf, and your case is going to be further noticed for trial. All right. Thank you.
And I'll come see you. Thank you.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes, Ms. Nance?
Yes, I was just trying to understand, because originally
If you would like to start your video, I can't.
okay, they stopped my video. I'm not sure. Okay, I can try. There I am. I had a question about. He says that he sentenced to 12 months because originally he was receiving a bond, and I spoke with the people, letting them know I'm currently pregnant, and they was trying to get us like some type of counseling. And my 6-year-old actually lives with him when he's not incarcerated. So she's kind of, they're on file record. She's kind of been asking about her dad. And with the no contact, I don't know how to do the visits or whatever in that matter. I actually speak with Ed about this case. So I'm just trying to figure out what would be the actual proper procedure.
He's got a bond order right now that was issued on September 25th. It's a $2,000 good bond. He's required to stay away from you and any minor children that he has with you. He's required to stay away from Yonkers Avenue. He's required to be equipped with an ankle monitor for 6 months upon being released on bond.
Okay.
And he's got other open cases as well. So if you want to amend the bond order, you would need to speak to the Victim Advocate's Office at the Solicitor's Division, or you can retain counsel to speak to the Solicitor's Office.
Okay, because I spoke with them, I told her this, and she said that she was going to speak to someone in regards, because with the no contact, my daughter lives with him on the school days, and I get her on the weekend, so I don't know how that will work.
Your daughter cannot live with him. She needs to live with you. He's not allowed to have he's not allowed to have any contact with the minor children he shares with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Next case, please.
Yeah, Mauricio. It doesn't have a, position number next to it, but his name is, Wilkins. I didn't see a position number next to it.
Spell his last name?
Wilkins, Wilkins.
Okay. And
Judge, he's on the 11 o'clock conference. Mauricio, he's on.
oh, okay.
Okay.
That's Mr. Bartel's client and Mauricio Wilkins. Mr. Bartel, did you have an announcement? Oh, you can sit down, sir, I think.
Yes, well, Your Honor, Mr. Wilkins is on the 11 o'clock calendar, but I think I could say there's no other folks here in the
Well, let's put it this way. You may not have anyone in the courtroom, but I have folks on the so if Miss Strong, if you can put jail court iPhone, my cell, courtroom 2, and Heather Tucker in a breakout, please.
Let me get my notes, Your Honor.
Jail court iPhone, you're going into a breakout, please. Monitor screen.
Was there anyone else that was supposed to join?
I don't think so.
Okay, thanks.
Join. Okay, I'll let him. He's talking to Mr. Young. Oh, yeah. Ready to go? He said if he's willing to continue with Robinson, he's willing to continue on with those services. Yeah, that was it. I just spoke to him, he said he's gonna take medication. I'll follow up if he can take his medication. But as far as right now, he said he'll continue working with Mr. Robinson with the accident. Okay. So that would be. Would we just plead him not guilty now? Yeah, just plead not guilty and waive. You good? Yes. Okay. Yep. All right. I'll send you an email to let you know everything's okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Bartel, you have to join the breakout. It's going to be on your screen. So, Ms. Strong, if you can put me and Miss Courtroom 2 back in the breakout, please.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of hard. Okay. So every week, so none of them ever. What they're supposed to do.
Judge Law, does it give you the option to join back yourself?
No, but I can join. That's
Okay.
not.
I'm not seeing anything, Your Honor.
I haven't gotten to it yet, Mr. Bartel. I'm about to do it.
Okay.
Jail Court iPhone, who do we have next? I'm sorry, you're on mute. And courtroom 2, you're on mute as well.
We have position number 45, Spencer Wright.
Did you say Spencer Wright?
Yes.
That's right. Okay. And Mr. Wright? Okay. Yes, this was the one where the officer had shown up this morning. But Mr. Spencer Wright is case 24 CR 6845Y, accused of battery family violence from October 2nd, 2024. Mr. Wright, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. And you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. And it's currently Ms. J. Kim. Do you see Ms. Kim on the screen?
No. Yes, ma'am, I see her now.
Okay, good. Ms. Kim, are we still proceeding with the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation?
And just to confirm, we've got a few Wrights on this calendar. This is Spencer Wright.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The sentence recommendation is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated, to complete a family violence intervention program, complete 40 hours of community service, and have no further contact with Fakiah, F-A-K-I-Y-A-H, Wright.
Yes, Mr. Wright?
Miss, we're married. We're married and we stay in the same house. So after I complete the program or complete my probation, that's when I have to contact my wife. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, right now, the recommendation is that you're to have no contact with her, even if you're married. So you'll be required to stay 200 yards away from her, and you cannot be living in the same house with her.
Okay.
And if you all have children, then there's got to be a third-party transfer of any child or children that you share with her.
Okay. My next question, Your Honor, do I have any holes or like any other warrants or any holes that's preventing me from getting out? That's all I'm asking. That's all I wanted to know.
I didn't see any holes. We talked about all these.
I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get to the case. Okay. We did have the officer who showed up this morning to address this case that the prosecutors needed him. But let me see. I don't see any holes. You did have a probation matter from 2020, but that's been resolved. You had a failure to appear back in December 2022, but you were released on a surety bond.
Yeah.
So the only thing, yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So that's what you have.
So I have nothing else but this case right here.
You don't have a bench warrant or failure to appear or a probation hold. So, and you don't have any other open cases holding you, but this one.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Kim, are these the terms which your client has accepted?
Yesterday when we talked.
All right. And Mr. Wright, do you understand that if you accept these terms, that you will be required to stay 200 yards away from your spouse, and you cannot be living with her for the, for the 11 and a half months that you'll be on probation?
Okay, I understand, ma'am.
Okay.
I understand.
And Ms. Kim, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Did I place him under oath? I don't remember doing that. Sorry. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. As I was saying, you've not consumed any medicine or alcohol recently? Put your hand down.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your case, even with the explanation that I provided?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
Oh, absolutely, I am. Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Freely and willing.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
do you,
I'm saying-
well, let's explore the knowingly. Have you sat down with your attorney and has she gone over a document called the Waiver of Rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And in that waiver of rights, has she explained to you that you do have a right to a trial, but that if you waive your right to a trial, you'll be giving up a whole bunch of other rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And these rights will include the right to confront your accuser, to challenge the evidence brought against you during the course of a trial before a judge or a jury, to be able to have your attorney help you to present your defenses and arguments, to be able to have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. These are some of those rights that were included in that form. Have you read through them?
Yes, ma'am.
Have they been explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you waiving those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask you again, are you freely, willingly, and knowingly waiving your rights and entering a plea of guilty to the charge against you?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of battery, family violence?
Yes.
Your sentence is going to be as follows, and that's going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. As you have no other holds, you'll be released within 24 hours, but you must report to Fulton County Probation on Monday, October 21st, before 3 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
While you are on probation, you are to complete 40 hours of voluntary community service with any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. You're also to enroll in a qualified domestic violence intervention program. You must enroll in that program within 30 days of being released. And you will attend each and every class under that program. Is about 26 classes, and you attend each class per week at your expense. At all times, you are to have no contact with Fakia Wright. And if you share any children with her, you can only have communication with a third party to arrange joint visitation and or custody. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. And you report to probation every month. Any
Yes, ma'am.
questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, that concludes your sentence. Thank you.
Right.
Jail court iPhone, I'm just going over to medical for a minute and then I'll be right with you. Medical, who do we have?
Number 7.
Is this Larry Goulart?
It is.
This is case 24 CR 6721E. Mr. Larry Goulart is accused of criminal trespass causing damage to property from September 25th, 2024. Mr. Goulart, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to counsel, and Mr. Tom White with the Public Defender's Office will be representing you. With regards to Mr. Goulart, is this still a negotiated plea?
It is, Judge.
Mr. Goulart, please raise your right hand. And medical, please unmute. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mokeke, what's the recommendation?
The state's recommendation is 12 months served 46 days, credit for time served 23 days, balance probated, that he pay restitution to the victim Beverly Howard in the amount of $335, that he have no further contact with Ms. Beverly Howard, and that he stay away from 1374 Murphy Avenue in Atlanta. I would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification.
Judge, we do stipulate, we would ask for a waiver of fees so that that can be applied to the restitution, and ask that the probation terminate upon payment.
I put it non-reporting, but not terminate.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay. And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID? I'm sorry, you must have said yes.
I did, Judge. Yes, we do.
Okay. Mr. Goulart, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And
No.
have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to enter this plea, you would have to give up your right to a trial before a judge or a jury. You will not get the chance to go back to court, challenge the evidence brought against you, confront your accusers, have the opportunity to present your defenses and arguments, and have the state prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass causing damage to property?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 46 days, credit for time served 23 days. If you have no other holds, you should be released within 24 hours, and then you report to probation on Monday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While you're on probation, you're required to pay a $335 restitution charge to Beverly Howard. You will make those restitution payments to your probation officer, who will then remit it to the victim. You're also to have no contact with Beverly Howard and stay away from 1374 Murphy Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. You will pay your restitution, make a minimum payment of $30 every month and $30 every month thereafter. Your probation fees shall be waived up to and including the end of January 31st, 2025. After that, you will need to start paying probation fees from February 1st, 2025, if restitution has not been paid. Your probation may go non-reporting once your restitution is paid and your probation fees are paid up. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, jail court iPhone, who do we have?
We have position number 1 on the add-on calendar, Mr. Bell.
This is State versus Royce Bell. Mr. Bell has 6 misdemeanor charges stemming from a traffic incident under accusation 20 CR 1014C. Mr. Bell, you've been advised you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you today is going to be Mr. Haddad. Do you see Mr. Haddad in courtroom 2?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is this going to be a negotiated plea, Mr. Haddad?
It is, Judge.
All right. Mr. Bell, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand, Mr. Haddad, that this will be a plea, but he has other matters holding him at the jail.
Judge, he actually resolved those matters, but yes, we're aware of that.
Okay, so he's already resolved them?
He has, Judge.
All right, okay. Ms. Tucker, you may proceed.
Yes, Judge. On count 1, it's going to be time served. That's, did I go out for a moment?
No, we heard you.
Credit for time served, that's 193 days. Count 2 is going to be time served. That's credit for time served, 193 days. Count 3 is going to be 12 months probation consecutive to complete a DUI risk reduction course, an alcohol drug evaluation and any recommended treatment, complete 1 victim impact panel, and 40 hours community service. Count 4 is also time served, count 5 is time served, and count 6 will be 12 months probation concurrent with count 3. As well as granting restitution of $1,861 to Regina Richard.
Okay. Mr. Haddad, are these the terms to which you've agreed, or your client has agreed, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Yes to both, Judge.
All right. And will he be able to be released within, I don't know what was the resolution, so he should be released within 24 hours?
He's not, Judge. I mean, he's serving a 10-year prison sentence.
Okay. So, Mr. Bell, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in this particular case involving DUI and hit and run?
Yes, ma'am.
Not hit and run, sorry, failure to maintain insurance.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. This is an open case that's been pending since 2018. With regards to this case, if you decide to enter this plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not get the opportunity to go back to court, to face your accusers, challenge the evidence that will be brought before you, be able to present your own defenses and arguments, and have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. With regard to the following charges: failure to maintain lane or improper lane change, driving without a valid license, failure to maintain insurance. How do you plead?
Guilty.
And with regards to possession of an open alcohol container, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right. With regard to these 4 charges, the sentence is to serve 190 days, given credit for 190 days. So these are your sentence for these 4 charges are resolved. How do you plead to driving under the influence of alcohol less safe and possession of an open alcohol container? I'm sorry, no, to hit and run, excuse me.
Guilty.
All right. With regards to the DUI and the hit and run, this is going to be 12 months consecutive to count 2. And the sentence for the DUI is going to be to, once you are released from your other holds, you are to report to the Fulton County Probation to complete the requirements for this sentence. And that's going to be to complete a risk reduction program, attend 1 victim impact panel, complete an alcohol and drug evaluation, and submit to any treatment that's required, to do 40 hours of voluntary community service. With regards to the hit and run, this is going to be 12 months concurrent to count 3, and you are to pay a restitution to Regina Richard in the amount of $1,861. Well, I guess whenever you start reporting to probation, that's when you start making those payments, and that will be directly to your probation officer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that concludes your plea. Thank you.
While I'm on 4 South, I know Mr. Wiggins, he's number 12 on the competency calendar. Should I grab him now, or?
Mr. Bartel, do you need your clients for the competency calendar if he's in the courtroom?
We do, Your Honor. Ms. Amin Williams said she is on her way. She's not here yet. But if we could hold off on that for a few minutes, I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Do you have any other cases at Jail Court iPhone?
Not on this side. I have to walk across the hall and grab a couple more.
Okay, sir. We'll wait. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I could also will bring to everyone's attention, I just got an email from Ms. Lewis indicating that Mr. Wolf, Stephen Wolf, was not interested at MHC. So whoever's handling that case, maybe, well, he's been reset for next Thursday, but I don't know if it's possible to revisit that today.
Mr. Stephen Wolf, he was on our add-on calendar, I believe.
That's position.
No, that's Stephen Horn, sorry.
Yeah, position 40.
Because I interviewed him yesterday.
Yes, position 40.
All right, Miss Kim?
Yes.
I can still reset it to, I thought I said next Tuesday, but is it next Thursday, Miss Champion?
I believe that he wants to take a plea and be released from the jail. Let me double check his offer. I believe there was time served.
Okay.
I don't think I made an offer unless there was an offer from a previous calendar.
I don't see an offer on the calendar, so Miss Kim, I think you would need to get an offer from Miss Tucker.
Right. I'll send an offer in the chat.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Is Miss Mokeke available? I was just going to go down the calendar briefly while we're waiting for the jail or someone.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. On the add-on calendar, position 1, Royce Bell was a plea. Position 2, Emmanuel Hinson. Who represents him?
I do, Judge, and that I expect a plea whenever he's produced.
Okay. And position 3, Stephen Horn, is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. And position 4, Sandra Jones, was a plea. So on the add-on calendar, we are waiting on Emmanuel Hinson. On the main SAP calendar, James Bentley, I've got a, if he shows up, we hopefully will be able to do a plea. Position number 2 and 3, Lorenzo Bradley. I understand that this is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Mr. White, are you on Zoom by any chance?
I am, Judge. That's correct.
All right. Then on position number 4, Corinne Cox, what are we doing there? That's a waiver as well?
Yes.
Okay. So Corinne Cox is a further notice for trial pursuant to the waiver. Position 5, Johnny Felton, was a plea. Medical, are you ready to address someone?
Position number 41, Cortez Wright, is a no-go. I'm still looking for James Bentley.
Okay. 41 is a no-show?
Correct.
You mean you can't find him or he's refusing to come?
He's not gonna be able to come. The officer on the floor indicated me to not pull him because he's little off the chain today.
He was like today as well. I actually recommend him to be reset for SAP competency calendar, Your Honor.
Okay. We're going to reset him to next Thursday, which is going to be October 24th at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Deputy. Anything else?
Yeah, I would like to know who's representing Mr. James Bentley.
PD White.
To me,
Did you speak to him on yesterday?
I did.
Okay, because I've been to 3 South. I couldn't find him over there. I've been to MOU. In the system, it was showing that he was in MOU, but he's not back there, so I'm not sure where this guy is. Where did you speak to him when you talked to him yesterday?
He was on one of the floors. He wasn't in MOU. I'll get my the request sheet and figure out exactly where he was. I'll be right with you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we're still waiting for folks to appear. So Johnny Felton, position 5 was a plea. Position number 6, Johannes Gebru. This is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. 7, Larry Gulat was a plea. 8, Adira Harris was a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 9, Michael Harris is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 10, Michael Hurst is reset to October 24th.
Judge, if I could briefly interrupt.
Yep.
Speak to Ms. Blunt and let her know that Bentley
Oh.
was 3 South 102 yesterday.
Okay, I'm gonna check the books one more time and I'll just go to the zone to ask for him.
No worries.
All right. Position 11 and 12, Mr. Delshawn Jackson, and that's going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 13, Jatavius Johnson is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 14, Chad Jones.
I still need to, Judge.
You still need to speak with him. Okay. Position 15, Cedric Jones was a plea. Position 16 and 17, Mr. Rolando Lopez, we're still waiting for him to appear and attorney needs to confer. Position 18, 19, and 20, Daniel Mack were pleas. Position 21, Wandelar Pritchard.
That will be actually, Your Honor, I do need to have a interpreter. She has a lot of time to be at the jail, so it's not a rush, but we do have to have a sign language interpreter for October 29, 2024.
All right, we're going to reset it to October 29th, 2024. And does she use sign interpretation?
That was what the arrest warrant said, actually. The Grady staff was using translator to communicate with her.
A sign language interpreter, okay. Position 21, Wandala Pritchard will need a sign language interpreter for October 29th at 9 a.m. Position 22, James Ross was a plea. Position 23, James Langston is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. 24 and 25, Nicholas Shedrick is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 26, same announcement, Gary Smith, waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Joseph Smith. I've got undecided. So it's
Actually, he chose not to plead guilty, Your Honor. I spoke with him over the phone during the court. Waiver of arraignment, I'll file.
all right. So 27 and 28 is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. And 29, Suleiman was a plea. 30, Sullivan. And that's going to be, this is going to be addressed along with the 11 a.m. calendar, okay?
Position 1, Bentley.
All right, thank you. We will resume with our review from position 31 onwards. This is State versus James Bentley, case number 24 CR 6818A. Mr. James Bentley is at the medical Zoom panel. Mr. Bentley, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Tom White. Do you see Mr. White on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mr. White, this is going to be a negotiated plea.
That's correct, Judge.
All right. Mr. Bentley, please raise your right hand for purposes of the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Mukeke, what's the recommendation for Mr. Bentley?
The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance to be probated, that he stay away from the Dollar General located at 4894 Old National Highway in Atlanta. He take an anti-theft course and pay a $500 fine. I would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification.
Judge, we stipulate and we just ask for any fee waiver that you could give him.
Okay. His date of birth 1991. Okay. Mr. Bentley, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
I heard 12 months, but I don't understand that.
It's like we talked about yesterday, Mr. Bentley. It's a 12-month sentence, but you're only serving 32 days of that with 16 credits. So it's time served as far as the amount of time you will do in jail.
Yes, I understand now.
But you will be on probation.
Right.
How long?
Yes.
For 11 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, ma'am, I am. I appreciate it.
And are you entering this plea today freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to enter such a plea to the charge of theft by shoplifting, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not get the chance to go back to court, to confront your accusers, challenge the evidence that will be brought before you, have your counsel assist you to present your defenses and arguments, and have the state prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
Repeat.
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of theft by shoplifting?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days. If you have no other holes at the jail, you should be released within 24 hours, but you must report to Fulton County Probation on Monday, October 21st, before 3 p.m. The probation office is located at 132 Mitchell Street. And when you are on probation, you are to stay away from the Dollar General store at 4894 Old National Highway. You are to pay a $500 fine, and you're to take an anti-theft class. I will waive your probation fees from now until the end of January 2025. You will start paying probation fees from February 1st, 2025 onwards. While on probation, you will make a minimum payment of $50 per month towards your $500 fine and $50 every month thereafter until your fine is paid off. You're also to enroll in the anti-theft class within 45 days of being released, and you must show proof of enrollment to your probation officer. Any questions?
No, Judge. Thank you so much.
All right, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's representing Kevin Yarborough?
That will be Patel, PD Paul.
Okay, do I need to get him before I leave this floor?
No, on Yarborough, Judge, if I can reset it for next week, I gotta follow up on a couple of things with the act. I think he's been accepted. I gotta look into potentially a signature bond, but I'm not really sure. I just gotta coordinate everything. So if we can reset.
All right. Position 44 and 45 are going to be reset to October 24th. That's just next Thursday at 9 a.m. Deputy, you don't have to bring him. His case is reset to next Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so we stopped at position 31, and that was Royshan Sumlin, and that's going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Aaron Thomas, position 32. We took the plea. 33, Bradley Trailer was a plea. 34, Tamika Vaughn. And that's going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial.
Actually, Your Honor, I had to change the announcement to reset to another court date. I chose the date, Your Honor.
All right.
October 29, 2024, Your Honor.
All right. 34, Tamika Vaughn is reset to the SAP calendar on October 29. Position 35, Donna Wary is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 36, Leroy Williams was released, and this
No,
case is,
I apologize. I was told he was released, but he was not. I did speak to him this morning in court, and we're gonna waive arraignment and or plea of not guilty on both of these cases.
all right, so Leroy Williams is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial for position 36. Did you have another case?
Judge, just yes, 24 CR 006821G. It's on the
Yes.
calendar by the notes from the state.
All right, so Ms. Champion, please note that this is going to be, and you'll be submitting a waiver arraignment in both cases, correct?
That is
Separately.
correct.
Okay,
Yes, Judge.
so both cases will be further notice for trial. Position 37 and 38, Ambrose Williamson were pleas. 39, George Willingham, and that's going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 40 is a possible plea this morning or on Tuesday. Ms. Kim?
Yes, we would like to talk to him because he's got time served offer. So most likely he wants to take the deal if I can speak to him and verify.
Well, when jail court iPhone pops back in, or if courtroom 2, if they are able to find him and bring him to the screen, then we can address that. You can have a breakout to speak with him. Otherwise, it's most likely going to be reset to October 22nd.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which is next Tuesday.
Sure.
Okay. Position 41, Cortez Wright is reset to October 24th at 11 a.m., the competency calendar. 42, Damian Wright, and that's going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 43, Spencer Wright was a plea. Position 44 and 45, Yarborough is reset to October 24th. All right, so we have Emmanuel Hinson from the add-on calendar, and I don't know who we have left from the SAP calendar. Stephen Wolf. Yes. And who else did you have, Mr. White?
Judge, we still have the interpreter case.
Yes, Rolando Lopez,
We
yes.
can reset him. We somewhat reluctant to do that. We reset him last time, but he, the offer is for an extended amount of time, and he does have an immigration hold. So
Okay.
I'd like to try to get him on Tuesday.
Positions 16 and 17. Tuesday is, I only reset Mr. Wolf to Tuesday because this was just pending an MHC announcement, but since that one's off the table, I should have reset it 24th, but I'm going to abide by that. Let me see what next Tuesday's calendar looks like, which is going to be the 22nd. We have 56 out of 35 cases scheduled. Mr. Lopez is going to be reset to the 24th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, 16 and 17 are reset to October 24th at 9 a.m. And Miss Strong or Miss Champion, if you get in touch with Miss Lucia, please let her know she doesn't have to come back today for this calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Bartel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's see now. We can go into a breakout. I have with courtroom 2, Ms. Tucker. Kasha is here. Who else needs to be in the breakout? Ms. Tucker, myself. Kasha, could you please start your video so we can make sure who goes into the breakout, please?
Jail code iPhone, who do we have, Officer?
We have position number 13.
Okay.
Octavian Johnson.
Okay, we'll wait. Thank you.
All right.
All right, we're going to resume with our SAP calendar, jail code iPhone. I'm sorry, I hope you weren't waiting too long. Who do we have?
We have position number 13, Mr. Johnson.
All right. Deputy, also with regards to Ronaldo Lopez, our Spanish interpreter case, did you bring him?
Yep.
Because we're going to reset him.
Yes, he's right here.
Yeah, because we don't have the interpreter yet. She's still away.
Okay.
And we're going to reset him to next Thursday, October 24th.
Okay, I'll explain it to him the best way I could.
All right,
All
sir. Jartavius Johnson, is that your name, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Johnson, my name is Judge Law. Your case number is 24 CR 6826J. You were charged with theft of lost or mislaid property and willful obstruction of an officer. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Jawan Haddad is your attorney. I understand that Mr. Haddad will be entering a not guilty plea on your behalf, and your case is going to be further noticed for trial. Anything else to add, Mr. Haddad?
Okay.
Was that a yes or a no, sir?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Johnson, your case will be scheduled for trial. Thank you.
All right. Next, we have on the add-on calendar, position number 2, Mr. Henson.
All right, thank you. This is State versus Emmanuel Hinson, case 24 CR 6822D. Mr. Hinson was accused of criminal trespass causing damage to property and willful obstruction of an officer from October 2nd, 2024. Mr. Hinson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Haddad will be representing you. I understand this is going to be a negotiated plea, correct, sir?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Hinson, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Wrestler.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation?
On the criminal trespass, it's going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated, and a $300 fine. On that obstruction, it'll be 12 months, served 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated, and an additional $300. Both of those can be converted to community service if necessary.
All right. Mr. Haddad, is your client wanting to pay the fine, a total of $600, or was he considering a community service option?
Your Honor, it is the community service, and I apologize. I misread. I told my client it's a total of 30, not 60. So, Mr. Henson, it's a total of 60 hours community service that you have to do, okay? Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Haddad, you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do.
Mr. Henson, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
Is something distracting you at the side? Because I'll be glad to reset the case if you want to appear. All right. If you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not get the chance to go back to court, to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, present any defenses and arguments you may have, and have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass causing damage to property and one count of willful obstruction of an officer? For the trespass, it's going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. Remainder of the time will be on probation. If you have no other holds at the jail, you will report to probation on Monday, October 21st, before 3 p.m. at Fulton County Probation Office, located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While you're on probation, you will complete 30 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. For the obstruction charge, it's the same sentence, concurrent, but you have an additional 30 hours of community service to complete. So you have a total of 60 hours of voluntary community service to complete, and you shall do a minimum of 5 hours per month and a minimum of 5 hours every month thereafter until all 60 hours are completed. That's it. Thank you.
Right. All right. Next we have position. Well, I think he needs an interview. Position number 14, Mr. Jones.
So Chad Jones, what does he need?
I need to speak to him.
Oh, okay. All right. Ms. Strong, if you could place jail court iPhone in courtroom 2 in a breakout, please. Right, and while this case is in a breakout, we'll be in a recess until we can resume. Thank you.
try to go, we used to try to drop off up there and continue on if we were doing warrants, but
Mhm.
they wouldn't let us drop off like this.
Yeah, that to be right street. All right, Mr. Haddad, how would we like to proceed with Mr. Chad Jones?
I'll be a negotiated plea, Judge.
All right. Mr. Jones, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, sorry, Ms. Mokeke, what's the recommendation for Mr. Jones?
The recommendation for count 1, the criminal trespass, is 12 months to run concurrent with count 2, and also stay away from the BP Food Mart located at 2320 Chester Bridge Road Northeast in Atlanta. The recommendation for count 2, willful obstruction, 12 months to serve 26 days, credit for time served 13 days, balance probated, that he pay a $300 fine and do 40 hours of community service. I would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Haddad?
Stipulate.
All right. Mr. Jones, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Basically, working.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes, I am.
Are you entering this guilty plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you decide to enter this plea, you would be giving up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be going back to court to face your accuser, challenge evidence that we brought before you, have the assistance of an attorney to present your defenses and arguments, and have the state to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to 1 count of criminal trespass at the BP Food Mart?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And how do you plead to willful obstruction of an officer?
Guilty, Your Honor.
For the criminal trespass, your sentence is going to be 12 months concurrent to the obstruction charge. And you are to stay 200 yards away from the BP Food Mart at 2320 Cheshire Bridge Road in Northeast Atlanta. If you return to that location, the sidewalk, the parking lot, or even the store, you will be arrested and brought back to jail. For count 2, is going on the obstruction charge, is going to be 12 months to serve 26 days, credit for time served 13 days. You will, the rest of the time is going to be on probation. You will report to Fulton County Probation on Monday, October 21st, before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you will pay a $300 fine, where you will have to make a minimum payment of $30 per month, and you'll need to do 40 hours of voluntary community service, where you're required to do a minimum of 5 hours per month and 5 hours every month. At all times, you need to stay away from that BP Food Mart. Thank you.
Your Honor, am I getting out today?
You'll be released within 24 hours if you have no other holds. Let me check and see.
Thank you, Justice. Today. You check to see if I have any holds.
Your Honor, I do not show any holds as far as.
This is position 14.
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, there are no holes. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sedan, thank you.
Anything else, Deputy?
No, that completes my list.
All right, thank you. Does anybody need any more announcements from the calendar? Those were our remaining cases. Hinson, position 2, Hinson was a plea, and Chad Jones, position 14, was a plea, And Mr. Lopez for Mr. White's cases is reset to October 24th. Ms. Kim, were you waiting on any other cases?
Mr. Wolf, Stephen Wolf, I guess we have to next Tuesday.
Yes,
Okay.
October 22nd. Mr. White, were you waiting on any other cases?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. And Mr. Haddad, are you waiting on any other cases?
No, Judge.
All right, folks, you all have a good day, and we'll resume this next Tuesday.